Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Chill Film Discussions. Hopefully you've had a good week since last time we said hi. But yeah, anyway, so I think today Austin and I reviewed a film called The School of Rock. It is 20 years old. It was released in 2003. It's an American comedy film that stars Jack Black in the titular role of a school, well, not school teacher, well, a substitute. He impersonates a substitute teacher, but he essentially is a rocker. He's a rock guitarist who is he has aspirations to play in the Battle of the Bands, and he recruits a classroom of elementary school students for his cause. So the film itself, it's fun. It's very fun. Very nice comedy. Jack Black carries this film. Like literally, his acting, his mannerisms, his humor it's contagious. It's very funny. I laughed a lot in this film. There are a lot of cringe moments as well, but they were still amusing cringe moments. Put a smile on my face. The plot is pretty straightforward. It's not too complicated. But it's also sort of rewarding and inspirational in a sense to sort of see the development of not only Jack Black's character but also of the children. The children do get some development, some more than others. We'll just put it at that. There might, some. I think some students did not get as much screen time or development as others, but at the same time, considering that this movie is an hour and 45 minutes, and there are a lot of students in that classroom, it was pretty impressive how everyone played a role. Even the ones that weren't directly in the band, they all played an important role. And they got screen time and they were able to contribute, which was very nice to see. Some of the things that I wish there could have been more of. I wish there was more resolution with Roz's character, Roz, who plays the principal. She's the principal of the school. She had some screen time regarding we basically saw her vulnerable side, and I would have liked to see that a little bit of maybe a growth or resolution with her character, because she did show that vulnerability about not wanting to be uptight, or that she wants to be more fun and loose and whatnot. So
Right.
I wish the ending kind of reflected more of the resolution with her character. The ending also had a lot of maybe more plot convenient moments that allowed for the performance of the band and the Battle of the Bands. It fit the narrative, but it definitely wasn't necessarily the most believable, realistically. And then, I mean, overall, I think I just have to highlight again Jack Black's acting. I already liked him as an actor, but I think I like him even more as an actor. And I can't wait till he plays, he voices. Anyway, this is an aside, but he voices Bowser in the Mario movie, and I'm very much looking forward to his performance in that movie. So, School of Rock is a wonderfully fun, inspirational, comedic film that, I think has stood the test of time. Even today, I think, even though some of the jokes are that's cringe, but the humor is kind of cringe, but it's still amusing, and it's a fun time.
I agree. I mean, I think that, I watched this movie before a lot of
Mm.
times when I was younger, and I think now watching it, there are times where I question, some of the writing, right? So there's this
Yeah.
battle within inside me, nostalgia versus oh yeah, is it actually a good film? I'm not too sure. uh,
Yeah.
I guess I said the first 20 minutes is, definitely hard for me to get through. Some of the comedy, some of the writing. It's just, this guy is not very likable, right? Dewey's not a very likable character. He's
Mm.
selfish, right? And he's, kind of mooching off his roommate.
Mm-hmm.
And then he starts to impersonate other, somebody, his roommate. So he's not a very likable guy, but he does have this character growth, right? And it's very stark, and it's nice to see that. Yeah, he goes from someone who's being selfish to someone who's being empathetic, an educator, a teacher, right? He's there to inspire his students, and it's really nice to see that kind of change inside him, even if it's a little bit more gradual. But that change does happen, and it's nice to see these character moments that he has with his students. It's very very touching. I think for me, it would definitely have been nicer to have more students, at least as I said before, called out the bass player. Get more screen time, have that more connection, because he has a connection or screen time with each of the main people of the band, plus the band manager Summer, except for the bass player. And I think in the idea of trying to be as inclusive with this band, especially someone who's supposed to be his team, that there was some kind of missed growth there. I think, but everyone else I think had a role. It was nice to see him how he would inspire each student. As I said, or as you said, with Roz, I think there could have been some, better closure. That would have been nice. Otherwise, I think this film had a lot of plot convenient moments, right? Or some moments that kind of gloss over some of the more serious aspects in order to service the story more, right? The story is supposed to be about them forming the band, so that's what it's supposed to, get towards. We don't want to have some kind of, too serious deviations. I think where this movie kind of excels at is, Jack Black's performance, his acting, his passion. He has this charisma, right? Which really sells it through to us as the viewer, to feel like, this guy is really passionate about what he does and about music. And I think without that, it would have this movie would have fallen flat, right? It wouldn't have been something that's as enjoyable. His performance is funny and is great to look at. And I think other performance that highlights actually Miranda Cosgrove. I mean, she's one of the few students who's better, and you can see why she's put in that role to kind of go back and forth with Jack Black. Is because she has the chops to be able to do so. I think, and I think this movie excels at each scene where he's trying to build the band, where he's inspiring, teaching the kids, right? It's fun to see that formation and how they grow, and the final performance. It's a really good time. I'm glad that they saved it for the end, and it's a good few minutes where they show off the song that Zach wrote.
Yes.
Again, the testament to the character growth that Jack Black Dewey went through. But that performance was great. It was fun. I think redeems the whole movie. It's like, this is good performance, and this is what the whole thing was about, right? Not about winning, but showing a good performance, and that's what happened at the end. So it was really really nice and enjoyable. And I think that portion made it a good movie. But again, some of the writing really did stick out. It really was cringe. I was like, are we really going this route? I guess we were, but yeah.
Nice. All right. Cool. So let's do our final ratings. I'd give this movie an 8.
8.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed it. Like I said, I laughed for a big portion of this movie. And although the some of the action, some of the scenes leading up to the resolution, the climax were like plot convenient. I agree. The ending, the resolution, the fact that they didn't win, but ultimately they put on a great show. I think that was very fitting of the whole theme of the message of the film itself.
Yeah.
So I very much appreciate that.
Yeah, I would give this movie a 7. I think,
okay. I thought you were going to give this movie a lot lower, but yeah. Go.
I think the nostalgia kind of won out just a little bit more, because I remember watching this film a lot and enjoying it a lot when I was younger, and even now, like, I remember points like, this is pretty funny, and I laughed, a few certain lines, and I think the movie had moments where it's like, oh really, are we really going through this way, or like is the writing really like this?
Yeah.
But the character development itself and the scenes of them building the band, I think, kind of redeemed this movie. Yes. Right? That's the part of it. Like, him building the band was fun. It was just fun. It makes a good movie to watch. Movie to watch. Yeah. And the performance at the end was fun. I think that's what really stood out. So I think, if anything, that's why I would recommend this movie. Just because of that whole portion. Like, this is a guy who's trying to build a band with students. It's a new concept, very novel, and it's something that's something you could watch, and it's like, this is not something that really has been done before. It's not like a rom-com, right? It's not like pure slapstick, right? It's just a situational kind of thing that's happening here, so it's enjoyable.
Yes, sir. All right, cool. Well, I guess we both recommend this movie, and that basically ends our stream. We'll be back next week.
Yeah.
All right, next week with a new movie that, of course, we will decide after the stream. So yes. Until then, goodbye, folks. I hope you have a good rest of your week.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.